There are so many EVs finding their way onto the market these days, it's hard to keep up. But one definitely worth checking out is this, the Hyundai Kona Electric. Welcome to this week's episode of Four Wheels in a Seat. I'm Alex Dalrymple. This is where I review brand new cars every week. To make sure you don't miss an episode, please hit the subscribe button down below the notification bell. And if you enjoy the video, please give me a like. The previous Hyundai Kona Electric was the very first EV I ever drove. In fact, I think it might have even been the first EV I ever even rode in. And I remember being very impressed by its dynamic performance and responsiveness. And the latest version takes all of that and improves on it with a sleeker, more modern design. So the Kona has now taken on the same design language as the Sonata and the Staria, with the full width LED light that goes right across the front of the bonnet here. Although in this car it only seems to light up on the sides. I can't seem to work out how to get the middle to light up. But I really like this design. It looks a bit like Robocop in a white suit. It's a bit retro-futuristic. It might look dated in a few years' time, but for now I think it's quite awesome. The main light clusters have moved down low here. We've got pixels all through the design. That's a feature of the electric Hyundais these days, and we can see those most prominently down the bottom there. Charging port at the front here as well. Looks good from the side too. The distinctive squared off wheel arches come over from the previous model. The wheels at 17 inches are a little bit on the small side. I would have liked them if they were a little bit bigger, but they are aerodynamic to reduce drag. I really like all the creases through the bodywork here, including this Z shape down the door here that continues right to the back of the car. It's a really strong, interesting design and, kind of steps away from the norm a bit. This silver detail runs from the front door all the way back up here to the top of the spoiler. And the rear of the Kona looks really good too. It's a cohesive design. It doesn't feel like we've got a different car at the front and a different car at the back. It all just works together with a full width LED here, which is a design feature we're starting to see on a lot of new cars these days, and I really like it personally. More pixels down here just above the bumper. And a somewhat small boot, only 407 litres. No underfloor storage either, because the Space Saver Spare is down there. You can knock down the rear seats, of course, and get some more room, but there are compact SUVs on the market with more storage space than this. Up the front and under the bonnet, we get a frunk to keep your charging cables in, and hidden away underneath that is a single electric motor that powers the front wheels only, and it outputs 99 kilowatts of power and 255 Newton meters of torque. A full charge will get you 370 kilometers of range. The upper spec long range model will get you upwards of 500 kilometers. A charge to 80% with a high speed charger will take 45 minutes, which is quite a long time. Inside, and the design is very similar to what we're seeing in a lot of new Hyundais at the moment, although there is a lot of hard plastic around the place. And some of the soft touch materials aren't really all that soft, to be honest. They feel a bit harsh and a bit coarse, but they are very durable. Also, like all of the latest Hyundais and indeed many other new cars from other car makers, we get two LED screens in a single curved display. The center screen now features the latest Hyundai software, which I think is about the third version that I've seen in the last 3 or 4 years. And this current one is definitely the best, the cleanest, most easy to use design. It now also includes wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The sound system is not fantastic in this car. It's a bit tinny. Row of shortcut buttons underneath that, and climate controls, pretty simple to use. Dual zone climate control in this car. Moving down beneath that, a couple of USB-C ports, including one that is switchable to allow it to either be on power only mode, or do you want it to actually connect to the center system, which I presume would override any wireless connection you have as well. We've got wireless phone charging, the drive mode selector, mechanical cup holders, and a kind of a weird storage space here. It's not really a bin because it's open at the front. It comes with a little tray, but yeah, you could keep some stuff there, I suppose. In front of the driver, the digital instrument cluster doesn't really have a lot of customization available. There's 3 different display modes that look pretty much identical. The colors change, but that's about it. You can cycle through a few different display options in the middle of the screen. The steering wheel, I like this one. It's being rolled out across a number of new Hyundais at the moment. It includes the 4 dots here at the front, the 4 pixels that actually spell out the letter H in Morse code. This wheel isn't quite round. It's not quite a flat bottom, but it's like it's a thin bottom. It kind of gets a little bit flat, but not fully flat. One thing I'm still not entirely convinced of though is Hyundai's decision to move the gear shifter to the steering column here and having it sort of hidden away behind the wheel. I'm not entirely used to this yet. I still find myself going for something to move down here in the center that just isn't there. So I guess if you were driving this car long enough, you would get used to it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't love this. The seats in this entry-level model are fabric. There's no electric adjustment or heating. You've got to step up a model for that, but they are quite comfortable, and the seating position gives me loads of headroom, good visibility out the front. Not so great because in the blind spots there, because the rear windows are a bit on the small side, but the rear vision mirrors come with blind spot monitors. And the back seat of the Kona is pretty good actually for a 190 centimetre tall adult like me. My knee's just touching the seat in front, but it's not too bad. A good amount of toe room, not huge. Headroom actually okay, which is good. We've got air vents here, plus a 240 volt power outlet, which allows you to plug in any domestic device and power it off this car's battery. 2 USB-C ports down the bottom there. Armrest, cup holders, and a pretty comfortable seating position. So kids or adults on a short trip would be pretty comfortable here in the back seat of the Hyundai Kona. Despite the relatively modest numbers that this car's electric motor puts out, it actually has quite a fair amount of go. It doesn't feel slow at all. Having said that though, I mean, you're not really going to be looking to take this car off-road. It's really designed to get you around the city. I notice whenever I go over a speed hump or the road is a little bit rough, there is something scratching and banging away at the back of the car. I don't know what that is, whether that's the spare tire or the tools to change the tire, you know, rubbing together. It's a little bit annoying. One pedal driving on this car feels really good. It's very predictable. When you have it set to maximum with the paddle shifters here on the back of the steering wheel, you can just drive this car with only one pedal if you get your timing right. So just driving along here right now, we've got a couple of pedestrian crossings and a speed hump. I am slowing down almost to a complete stop here to go over this speed hump, not having to touch the brake at all. And once you go to one pedal driving, there's no going back. It is really good. Is the new Hyundai Kona a turn-back car? Look, the previous model, I would have said no way. I wasn't a big fan of its design at all, and it had the weird driving lights that sat up on top, and yeah, I just never really liked it. This new model though, I think is actually really eye-catching. I really like the full-width LEDs on the front and the back. It's such a good look, even if it does look a bit like Robocop, as I said before. So yes, I think the Hyundai Kona is now a turn-back car. Like a lot of Hyundais, unfortunately, this car beeps a lot and it drives me crazy, and the only way you can disable it is to turn off the speed sign recognition system altogether, which I don't want to do because it is really handy to have the area speed limit here displayed on the instrument cluster. But if you exceed it by so much as 1 kilometre per hour, not that I would ever do that, and as soon as you approach a section of road where the speed limit changes, or there's a speed camera or a red light camera, you just get an endless amount of beeping. And I just wish you could silence it. If you're looking to buy a compact electric SUV, you're spoiled for choice. As I said at the top, there are so many models available. And the Hyundai Kona Electric is really good. But this car's main rival is probably the MG ZS EV, and that costs about $18,000 less than the Kona. And I'm not entirely convinced that the Kona is worth the extra money. The MG beats it on just about every metric. It comes with a 7-year warranty, and the battery is bigger, it goes a little bit quicker, and I think the car itself might actually be a little bit larger. But having said that, the Kona is really good. So the only way you can really make a definitive choice about which car is for you is to take them both for a test drive.